What's up, everybody? This is Nathan, that album reviewer guy here, doing another album review. Still trying to catch up. Will I ever do that? I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, today I'm going to be reviewing the new War of Ages album, Supreme Chaos. War of Ages is a Christian metalcore band, if you've never heard of them. And you know, the song that got me to them, Battle On. It was a song that was used for Tyler Black in ROH, who is, you might better know him as Seth Rollins in WWE, but I'm pretty sure everyone, or mostly everyone maybe, has heard of Tyler Black before he went into the WWE as Seth Rollins. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, I apologize, but I can't really help you. Anyway, War of Ages, Christian metalcore band. I guess that's about all I can say about them. But this is their 6th album, and you know, it's a metalcore album. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, let me put it this way. This album has nice flow and continuity, but you know, some of it just sounds a bit too similar. And you know, with metalcore, I mean, I guess that's to be expected, because, you know, take a look at the last metalcore album I reviewed, which would be Let the Ocean Take Me from the Amity Affliction, and I said that album was, you know, sounded a bit too similar. I gave it a 6 or a 6.5. I actually don't remember, but you know, my favorite band is a metalcore band, but I'm going to try not to get too off topic on this one. This album, you know, less flow and continuity, like I said, sounds a bit too similar in some parts. In some cases, it feels like I'm listening to a very long track with a couple of transitions, rather than listening to like a few different songs in a row, like you would in an album. But, you know, I mean this in both a good way and a bad way. It just really depends where you are in the album, because there are noticeable differences from track to track in some places on the album, but in others, not so much. I mean, it's a very heavy and, you know, driving album. There isn't really a soft song on the album. I mean, some are heavier than others, but I wouldn't say there's like a genuinely soft song on the album. But, you know, it's not bad by any means. It sounds a bit similar, some of the songs do, to each other, but I mean, metalcore. I mean, similarity is not always a bad thing. In this case, it's both good and bad, because on one hand, you know, it may sound like you're listening to pretty much the same song over and over again, but on another hand, you know, that is not going to be too drastic of a change. Now, this album does have some good points, and I wouldn't say it has, well, I don't want to say it doesn't have bad points, because then that would mean that this album gets a perfect score, and that's not the case. The case is, there are some good songs, and there are some not so good songs on this album. Flow isn't bad. It's really good, as a matter of fact. But, you know, it's just the similarity factor. And another thing is, the album feels like it drags a little bit at some points, which is weird considering the fact that it's only about 37 minutes in length. It's not even 40 minutes, this album, and in some points feels like it drags. There are 10 tracks on the album, and you know, they're all roughly 3-4 minutes, give or take. So, it's not like there are any songs that are too long on the album, but it's just the feel, you know, the similarity factor comes into play again. I mean, if you feel like you've heard it before in some parts of the album, and it just doesn't click. Now, I do have favorites on this album. From Ashes, Chaos Theory, Lionheart, and On Broken Wings. I don't have any least favorites. And I'm not going to give it as low a rating as I did the Amity Afflictions album, but I'm not going to give it as high as I did the first metalcore album I reviewed, which was For Today's Fight the Silence. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Because it's better than the Amity Afflictions' latest album. It's not as good as For Today's latest album. But it's definitely worth a buy. I mean, I might pick it up eventually. Maybe. Anyway. What did you guys think of War of Ages' Supreme Chaos album? Do you have a favorite War of Ages album? Do you have a favorite metalcore album in general? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite, rate, like. Did I say like already? Probably. The point is, do that. And like this guy on Facebook. And, well, keep watching. Before I sign off, there is a song in this album called Lionheart, and I have to mention this. Next album I'm reviewing is Fozzie's Do You Want to Start a War? If you people do not know about Chris Jericho's wrestling gimmick back in the day, Lionheart Chris Jericho, that reference wouldn't make sense. But I felt like it was necessary. But yeah, Fozzie's new album is next. Also got Il Nino's new album on the way, Amberlin's new album. Believe it or not, I'm actually going to be reviewing the new Crown the Empire album. You know, a lot of stuff coming up. So stay tuned. That Album Reviewer Guy, signing off.